The most exciting pre-workout launch yet this year, Primal from Animal. Now, you guys know me. I love Animal. Animal's been one of the classic, coolest brands. I just always was a huge fan of it. I loved the way they gave back to the community. I love the way they supported bodybuilders, powerlifters, strongman competitors, Olympic weightlifters, all sorts of different people getting after it in the gym. On my way up, you guys know, anytime you've watched an Animal video, I've talked about how much I've been a huge fan of them. And they're coming out with a pre-workout called Primal, a super exciting formula, one that pushes the boundaries in a bunch of different ways. And Animal's a lot more known for like their packs and stuff like that. Their recent launches of things like Fury and Pump Pro really were fun because they're transparent, high quality, efficacious, hard hitting pre-workout supplementations. Primal takes it to the next level with the inclusion of 3D Pump Breakthrough. So I'm super stoked to be talking about this formula today. There's a bunch of different things in here that we know and love from Animal, some new stuff in the industry coming to Animal, which is exciting to see because Animal generally sticks to the tried and true stuff. So seeing some new ingredients in here is really cool and exciting. So let's start off at the top and talk about 3D Pump Breakthrough. If you watched my Performax videos, my inspired videos on this, I've talked a lot about how much we love 3D Pump Breakthrough. In fact, I even have a video going into why the industry was wrong about being rude to 3D Pump Breakthrough because it's got a lot of efficacy to it. We've got some new data coming out from it. So let's talk about what's in this ingredient that Animal's so excited about. First off the bat, you get 3 grams of L-citrulline. We all know that 3 grams of citrulline is pretty much the base dosage for what increases nitric oxide in the body. We've got more of it later on in the formula, but 6 grams of 3D Pump Breakthrough yields 3 grams of L-citrulline here, we gotta say. We all know what citrulline does. It's a blood flow pump ingredient. If you're into pre-workouts at all, you know what it does. So I'm not going to talk about too much of it here. I'm really going to get more into the other two. You get 1.2 grams of glycerol for cell volumization, hyperhydration, that water pump that everyone really loves. And what's really cool about this is that citrulline is used as the base. Glycerol and amla fruit, the third ingredient we're going to talk about, are made into a bit of a slurry, and it's sprayed onto the citrulline powder as a carrier. So a lot of the issues that you deal with glycerol normally, that clumping issue, and even in my opinion, like the grittiness, are really mitigated by this process. And you know that there is some glycerol in it. In my opinion, you can taste it. I tasted a lot of pre-workout, so I might catch things that not everyone would. Overall, it's a very smooth experience. I drinking it and using it and scooping it is definitely easier than your normal glycerol. I've done a bunch of different products with it, different combinations of other ingredients, and it's always been a good experience for me. But there's one more ingredient in 3D Pump Breakthrough, 165 milligrams of amla fruit extract for enhanced blood flow and recovery. Now, there's a pilot study on 3D Pump Breakthrough that kind of keys into this amla fruit. There's also some other data I want to get into with the amla fruit, but I want to jump right into the pilot study without really kind of explaining it because I think it gives a kind of cool point here. So the pilot study used 4 different groups, and what's really cool here is that they studied 3D Pump Breakthrough without even the citrulline yet. We all know citrulline works, and I kind of like this setup. Some people might say it's not so totally specific to 3D Pump Breakthrough. I agreed, it's not, but it kind of gives the point of what we're trying to get at here. The 4 groups were 1, water functioning as a control. The second group was 1.5 grams of a 65% yield glycerol and normal stabilized glycerol that you would find on the market. Group 3 was 150 milligrams of amla fruit extract. This is actually less than what's commercially available in it. It actually goes up to 165 milligrams. And then the 4th group is 1.35 grams of 65% yield glycerol and 165 milligrams of amla fruit extract. Again, the same note, this is actually a lower dosage. So in the final product, you're going to get even more, so an even larger dosage and even better effect. And what's really cool about this is that you're comparing water to glycerol to amla fruit to glycerol and amla fruit extract together, and the combined group of glycerol and amla fruit extract yielded far greater results than either of the other ones. So you take these 2 ingredients, you put them together, and there's a compounding effect. What I mentioned about amla fruit extract having some other data on its own, it's called an Ayurvedic wonder by researchers. It's also known as an Indian gooseberry. Phyllanthus emblica is another word that a lot of people in the industry will use for it. But it's used for cardiovascular health supporting properties, improving endothelial function, while also reducing platelet aggregation thanks to antioxidants and tannins inside. There isn't a lot of athletic research on amla fruit extract, but it's really, really common to see epithelial function and blood flow to be promising in studies about it from more of a clinical side. But what's really cool about it is that the tannins contained within of it are important to the body because we convert them into urolithin A, B, and C, and D. Now, you've probably heard of urolithins in some muscle builders, and that's because urolithin B is actually known to be anabolic. So there's a bunch of other reasons why 3D Punk Breakthrough overall may have a lot of different benefits for people using it in a pre-workout with weight training kind of situation. Finally, some users actually report an improvement in focus with this overall ingredient. That might be because in some animal models there was a nootropic benefit attributed to amla fruit extract, and I believe there was one with elderly people as well. So from the 3D Pump Breakthrough complex, we get into an endurance and performance complex, and this is kind of rudimentary stuff so that you would expect a long existing company like Animal to just get and understand and start off with. 3.2 grams of carnosine beta alanine. That's going to load up your beta alanine so that you can get your stores of that, because that needs to be loaded or saturated or whatever you want to call it. That's going to help obviously with work capacity, getting rid of lactic acid, and allowing you to train longer volume, longer sets, and which is going to indirectly affect hypertrophy because you're increasing your work output. BC anhydrous after that, 2,500 milligrams. Again, a straight up clinical dosage here. That's going to be an osmolate, a power output helper, a very nice ergogenic ingredient. We all love thermoregulation. It's overall just an incredible ingredient to get in pre-workout. And lastly, L-taurine at 8 gram. There's literally entire reviews on taurine as helping for athletes. The benefits start at 1 gram here. Yeah, the higher dosages may help more with like kind of thermoregulation, hydration, and stuff like that. So having a gram here for weight trainers isn't that bad of a thing. It also focuses as a very mild nootropic. After that, we get the focus and intensity complex, and this is kind of where things get a little bit different for Animal, which I'm excited about. Outside of the addition of 3D Pump Breakthrough, there's a couple things in here you don't normally see with them, or at least one big one that I'm kind of going to key on. A whole gram of tyrosine is a huge dose for Animal in terms of a neurotransmitter creator. I'm a huge fan of how they did this here. L-tyrosine is definitely the most efficacious version of tyrosine. It's going to be a neurotransmitter creator where we're going to be looking at dopamine, norepinephrine, stuff like that. It's an incredible focus booster. I love taking this stuff at the beginning of the day before work or before going to the gym. It really dials me in. I'm sure you guys will feel the same way. After that, we're also getting into choline bitartrate here. And this is kind of reminding me of Animal Cuts over here. There's a couple different things in here that remind me of what they did there. And I really, really love that they took those things into Primal, because not everyone's going to use cuts because they're not always cutting. I actually made the point that people could really use this not during just cutting. But outside of that, choline bitartrate here at 300 milligrams is going to help. Choline is a really important ingredient for acetylcholine. It's a learning neurotransmitter, but it also helps with muscle contractions. There's a lot going on here. If you have an intense job, if you're thinking a lot, you're talking a lot, you deplete it quickly. You also deplete it from training. So getting this in pre-workout is a really nice little thing. T-green here is an awesome ingredient from Compound Solutions. What's nice about T-green is it's kind of similar to caffeine, but you get a different curve on it, right? Studies show that it increases mood, cognition, physical performance, overall energy levels. But the difference between it and caffeine is not only does it block adenosine receptors, it also triggers dopamine receptors. What's really impressive about it is it does all of this without a blood pressure spike. So we like that they're adding in something here instead of just additional caffeine that helps improve the experience without increasing your heart rate or blood pressure. After that, we hit 300 milligrams of caffeine. 300 is a little bit high for some people, but I would consider it to really be the normal strength training dosage these days. Caffeine has a lot of different benefits, from power output to endurance. We all know what it does for us. It blocks adenosine receptors, gives you energy, makes you feel good, helps you lift some big weights, and I'm a big fan of it. After that, we hit the herbal energy blend, which is kind of calling back to Animal Cuts. They have it over in that blend as well. Again, it's a green tea leaf extract, coffee bean extract, guarana extract. Don't really know how much caffeine we're getting here, but we're getting some stuff that's going to kind of support the function of caffeine, since caffeine's found naturally alongside these. Again, we don't know the dosages. So one thing that I wish that Animal did more was transparency, but they're already committing to transparency on an entire 20-gram scoop here outside of that one blend. So I'm not going to harp on them for that. I like the addition of these ingredients. It would be nice to know them, but you know, hey, the rest of this product is really, really enjoyable. I've had some really great workouts on it, so I'm not going to hold it too hard. Lastly, we got electrolytes and hydration down here. I really like that they did all this, because the potassium, the sodium, the magnesium, calcium, these are all really important for not only replenishing from training, but also allowing the body to contract fully. They're really good for cardiovascular benefits. There's a lot of different things for athletes that this is very keying in on. They also have 250 milligrams of sea salt here. Overall, really important things. What's really, I think, going to be the most understated and unappreciated, but should be the most appreciated part of this formula is going to be the absorption and nutrient enhancers down here. They've got estrogen and synactive here, both really powerful ingredients from Nuliv. Helps with estrogen helps with the absorption of ingredients. Synactive helps with getting rid of old senolytic cells, getting rid of inflammation markers. It'll help with actually like power output in the gym and performance. So overall, really making this a strong product because you get a lot of different pump, focus, energy, ergogenic benefits, and then making all of it even absorb better. I'm super proud of Animal for doing this. It's a really cool step forward for the quality of their products. Put this alongside your Pump Pro, and you probably have an insane pump with a crazy workout. I should say I got this product for free ahead of time. We were able to beta test alongside a bunch of different viewers of ours. So if you got to get in on that, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I appreciate any content that was made around it. As always, guys, I do have to say we have a business affiliate relationship with Animal, but it's been an absolute breeze and honor to be alongside them. Animal's been one of my favorite brands of all time. They gave me some huge opportunities to meet some really big, heroes of mine back in the day, and being able to talk about their products and help people understand their products has been a really big pleasure. So thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope it's been informative and educational. If you have any questions, leave them below. And as always, have a great day.